I recently did a video going through my entire Switch collection, including all of my physical games, and I came to find that there are a lot of these that I haven't played. And if that wasn't embarrassing enough, I have an even more expansive digital collection, so I'm going to go through those games with you today. I'm going to show you everything that I have on my Switch right now. And without even looking, I'm willing to bet I probably haven't played like 90% of the games. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. So this is going to be a little more difficult because I do have to kind of cross-reference and try to remember which games are physical and which games are digital. We'll see if I can do it. I don't know. First off, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, I have both of those physically. So our first digital game is SpongeBob Krusty Cook-Off. Now this is one of those fast-paced cooking style of games. I want to say it started out as a mobile game initially. The premise is just basically Mr. Krabs realizes how much money you can make in the fast food business. So you are SpongeBob and you're just serving customers different types of food. I think you start out with pancakes. There's a bunch of different levels that you go through. I will say it does get much more difficult as you go on because each customer is requiring more and more stuff for you to add. And I feel like the pacing of it does start to really pick up. So definitely not a low stress game, but I still think it's kind of cozy and casual. It's fun. Now, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, I also have physically. So next up is Cult of the Lamb. And this one I have actually completed. I beat this game. I did not beat the DLC that they have, but Cult of the Lamb is one of those unique games that is just absolutely perfect. I will say the Switch version definitely has its flaws compared to my PC version. I definitely experienced some more like stuttering, freezing occasionally and stuff like that. But in Cult of the Lamb, you are basically tasked with creating a cult. It is a mixture of dungeon crawling, there's farming, decorating, and management. There's also different skill trees for you to work on. There are so many aspects of this game, but this is one that I would definitely highly recommend. The next game that I have is Witchwood, and this one is basically like an adventure story type of game set in a fantasy, kind of a storybook world. This is one that I've only played a little bit of, but from what I did play, I really enjoyed it. There are puzzles, there's combat. I remember the dialogue being very witty and fun. This is one that I definitely want to try to finish someday. We have another cooking management style game, and this one is Lemon Cake. I have played some of this as well. This one is lower stress than SpongeBob, I think. Although I was kind of stressed playing this one as well. So in this one, you're tasked with restoring an abandoned bakery, you're growing fresh ingredients, and then baking different pastries to serve to the customers. There are so many of this style of game out at this point that I don't know if I will ever go back to this one, but I would consider it. Next up is one that I'm sure most of you already have downloaded, or you've at least heard of it. This is Fall Guys. This is a free-to-play, like, battle royale platform game. Super fun, although this game will make me rage quit almost more than any game possible. I don't know why I get so angry at this. Something about the platforming is so infuriating to me, but it's still fun. It's a good time. Sometimes I can let loose and have fun, sometimes I can't. Breath of the Wild is one that I have physically, so we're gonna go ahead and skip on over that one and go to Fortnite, which is not a game that I play on Switch. It is a game that I play, but I am a PC player. I only have this on my Switch because at one time I did try to play it a long time ago and I hated it. And then I kept it on here because, again, at one time I needed to purchase things from the Fortnite shop. I needed to. And they didn't have a website at the time to purchase the items, so I kept it on here. I can log on, I can gain levels doing my Lego stuff or whatever. Fortnite it's great. It's free to play. Is it the best experience on Switch? Probably not. But If that's what you have, I highly recommend trying it out. I promise you, Fortnite can be cozy. It's free. What do you have to lose? Suika game. I love the watermelon game, okay? This is just a super simple, I guess you would consider it a puzzle game of sorts. It's not really a puzzle, but you are having to like drop fruits from above. You're trying to combine the same fruit to make larger fruits and ultimately make a watermelon. Once you make 2 watermelons, they will disappear. I have never made 2 watermelons, but this is a super inexpensive game on the eShop. Highly recommend it. I have spent many hours playing Suika game, and it's just kind of one of those games that you can get lost in, and it's not something that you have to think about. Heading on over to Palia, this is a cozy MMO, which is a mass multiplayer online game, meaning you will need to be connected to the internet to play it. This is another one that I do not play on my Switch. I either play it on my PC or Steam Deck. Palia is another game that has so many aspects to it. There are so many different things that you can focus on and do. There's questing, there's relationship building, farming, fishing. There are different temples for you to do, mini games. There is tons of stuff going on in Palia. It is free to play, so once again, highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. I have spent a ton of hours in Palia. I will say this is another one that isn't as great on the Switch in my personal opinion, but if that's what you have, I think you should definitely try it out. Next up, we have Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope. This is the second installment, I believe, of the Mario & Rabbids games. This is a turn-based strategy game, which is definitely different for me and for Mario. But I absolutely loved the time that I spent in this game. It wasn't long. I will say that I'm really bad about doing a first look kind of thing, playing for a couple hours, and then not returning. That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the game, though. This is one that frequently goes on sale, so if you're someone who is a Mario fan, but you're looking for something a little different, I think this would be a good option for you. Now, as we get further down here, we are getting into Kato has not played these games territory. Not all of these, I definitely see some that I've still played, but Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles, is the first of the I was in the eShop scrolling, I saw cute art, and it was on sale, so I purchased it type of games. From what I can tell, Yonder is an open world adventure style game. There are professions to master, crafting, trading, puzzles, and the ability to adopt creatures. Honestly, it sounds right up my alley. And I would love to know, as I go through these games, make sure you leave a comment, let me know which ones you would like to see me play on my channel, because I would love an excuse to play some of these. Doraemon Story of Seasons, Friends of the Great Kingdom, another one that I have not played. I do know that this one is a farm sim, and it's basically just a crossover of a Story of Seasons style game with the Doraemon franchise. Haven't tried it, don't really know much more than that. Should I play it? I don't know. Next up, this is a good one. This is a little to the left, and this is a puzzle game that has you sorting, organizing, stacking different household items. I love this one because there are multiple different ways to complete the puzzles, and you're kind of encouraged to solve it in however way you want to, but then also find all of the other ways that you can solve the puzzle too, which I love. Super cozy game, and this is one that works great on the Switch. Now transitioning to a game that doesn't work great on the Switch, Power Wash Simulator. It might just be a me problem. The controls of this game were so difficult for me to use on the Switch. I don't know what it was. First of all, this is a first-person game. You're basically just power washing. You're cleaning off different things, cars, houses, whatever it is, you're just power washing them until they're clean. Something about that concept is actually very relaxing, and I totally understand the appeal, but the controls were not working great for me. And I do tend to kind of get motion sickness with first-person games. So that's hit or miss for me anyway. This would be a maybe game if I was going to recommend it. If you're interested and you have the option for another platform, I would choose that option. But I could also see people really enjoying this on the Switch as well. Next up, we have Unpacking, which is one that I have played a little bit of. I've watched some people play a little bit, but I definitely haven't watched the full thing, and that's for a good reason because I do want to play it at some point, and I think there is a very good storyline with this game, and you're basically following this girl, and you're unpacking boxes, moving her into different locations throughout her life. As you unpack the different items, I think you kind of start to discover different things about her and her story. This is one of those games that I think I just want to eventually cozy up and take the time to play through it because I do really want to experience it on my own. Next up is My Time at Portia. This is a game that I have not played. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and I've heard very mixed reviews about this game. It's one that I definitely picked up on an eShop sale. I have played My Time at Sandrock, which is by the same developers, and I actually really enjoyed that game. That one also has mixed reviews. I was playing that one on PC, so I wonder if the system has something to do with the mixed reviews. My Time at Portia is a farm sim. I think the premise is basically just restoring the town, your typical farm sim storyline. This is one that I don't know if I will ever play. They actually have another game that they're working on currently, and I feel like I won't have the time between now and when that game comes out to even try this one, and I think I would just play that one instead. So I really don't know if I'll even ever get to this one. Then we have Aka, and this is an open world exploration style game. I think there are farming elements, puzzles, mini games, tiny quests. Haven't played it, couldn't tell you much about it, but it is a very cute art style, I will say that. Then we have Potata, Fairy Flower, and I'm pretty sure I just got this one because it's close to potato, and the art style is beautiful. This is an adventure platformer where you're trying to save the world. Haven't played it, haven't even really heard of anyone else playing it, but I saw it, and at one point, it was probably on a really good sale. Now, this next one is a little more embarrassing because Celeste is another platformer, and this is one of those games that was talked about a ton, and a lot of people were saying this was their favorite game. I was very influenced by everyone talking so highly of this game that eventually, when it went on sale, I went ahead and purchased it. Have not opened it a single time, and I don't know why. I've heard it has a great story. I'm not the best at platformers, I will say that, but if everyone loves it so much, it has to be good, right? Oh, look, another game that I haven't played on my Switch. Who knew? Calico, this one, you're rebuilding a cat cafe. That got me. One day I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna play all of the cat games that I have on my Switch. I'm pretty sure there are even giant cats that you can ride on as mounts in this game. Next we have Pokemon Scarlet, and I thought that I had this as a physical, but I don't think I do. I think I see Pokemon Shield, but I guess I got Scarlet digitally. I played this one. I know that I played it, but just like so many other Pokemon games, I play it for a little bit, and then if it doesn't hook me, I'm out almost immediately. I grew up playing Pokemon. I want to fall back in love with the Pokemon games, and the only one to do that recently for me was Arceus. I have high expectations and high hopes for the next Pokemon game, but Scarlet it just wasn't the one. It wasn't the one. Next, we have Pico Park, which is an action puzzle game for 2 to 8 players. It is online or local multiplayer, and I got this on sale because I wanted to play it and stream it with other people, but no one ever really wants to play. I think people are intimidated. I think I'm too competitive, is the reason. I don't know. This one, I am going to play at some point. Or I'll play Pico Park 2 and I'll just download that one instead. Then I have Soccer Story. I have no idea how I ended up with this game. I just had to Google search what it was because I don't remember it at all. And the description says it is a physics-driven adventure RPG where every problem can be solved with your trusty magic ball. Haven't touched it, haven't opened it, don't know anything about it, actually. Did the same people who made Golf Story make this game? Maybe that's why I got it. Then we have Bratz Flaunt Your Fashion. I have played this one. Super cute. You're trying to become a fashion reporter. This one was really nostalgic if you were a fan of Bratz growing up, or maybe you have a child who is interested in Bratz. If you are looking to get your child into gaming and Bratz is something that they would be interested in, I highly recommend this game, and really almost any game from Outright Games, who is the developer of this game, because my number one favorite thing about their games, and I will talk about this until the end of time, is that they are voice acted. So if you have a child that isn't reading yet and you want them to be a little bit more independent with their gaming, this is a great option, 100% voice acted, and I love that about these games. Then we have Hoko Life, and I know that I've played this one. This is a kind of a community farm sim. You're trying to build up the town. You meet villagers in the town. I remember everyone was very upset about how the villagers looked. That never bothered me. I actually enjoyed the art style of this, but I can't remember if I played it on Switch or if I played it on PC. I had a decent experience with it. I didn't play it for very long, but if you're someone who is looking for another farm sim, this one could definitely be an option. This next one is not a game, but I do get a lot of questions about what it is because it is Animal Crossing related, so I thought I would mention it. This is just the island transfer tool. So if you're someone who has 2 Switches, or if you're trying to move your island from an old Switch to a new one, this is how you do it. You have to install this on both Switches, and then you go through this software to move your island from one to the other because it's not stored on the actual game card. It's stored on the system itself. So that's all this is. Next up, we have It Takes Two, which is a puzzle platformer, but the catch with this one is it is multiplayer. Now, the cool thing is one person has to purchase the game, but then whoever you play with doesn't have to have a copy of the game, which I really respect and love. Haven't played it yet. I have watched some people play some of it. Again, when I want to play a game, I try not to spoil a ton of stuff, but I know the premise and I have heard nothing but good things about this game. I just need to find someone who will play the story with me. Next up, we have Harvestella. This is a life sim RPG game, and I'm not gonna lie, this one, I really regret not jumping in when it first released. I almost feel like it's too late. There's no hype around this game anymore, and I don't know how it would perform on Switch. Haven't tried it. It's definitely one that got mixed reviews, but I feel like I would be into it for some reason. I don't know, the RPG elements are just really intriguing to me, mixed with like the farming sim vibe. I think I just got intimidated because I felt like it was going to be a big time commitment. I don't know. I hate that I never picked this one up. Lonesome Village is the next game that I have. I have played some of this one. It is a mix between puzzling and life sim, super cozy, no combat in this one, and there is a big theme with the games that I have. Lots of life sims, lots of puzzling. This one was super cute from the time that I played it. The art style of this one is absolutely adorable. This is one that I feel like I could definitely recommend. Then we have Jenny LeClue, and this is another one of those games that I saw it on sale, picked it up, haven't played it. I'm embarrassed, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm embarrassed about how many games I have on my backlog. I've got to find the time to play all of these. This is an adventure puzzle style game where you are solving a mystery, I presume. This is one that I feel like I constantly add to my list to play in October, and then I never get around to doing it. I don't know if this next one is pronounced Fee or Fey or Iron. I don't know, but I got this one specifically because the graphics looked pretty. It is a platforming 3D puzzler style game, and you're just this cute little creature jumping and running around, and I just think that it's pretty, but I haven't played it. Finally, another game that I have played, Luigi's Mansion 3. I feel like this one needs no introduction. Obviously, it's the third installment in the Luigi's Mansion series. This was actually the first one that I played in the series, and it's an action-adventure game where you are Luigi and you're stuck in this hotel trying to save your friends. You are encountering lots of ghosts and creepy, scary, but also cute things around the hotel. Really fun, also kid-friendly, and you can play it co-op. Beacon Pines is one that I've heard a ton about. It is a narrative adventure style game. I think it's definitely one that I would prefer playing off stream, like outside of content, just because of how narrative driven I do think that it is. But again, it was on sale. It has a cute art style. I bought it. I know this is going to sound really bad, but the next one is Cozy Grove, and I can't remember if I ever played any of this, or if I'm just remembering watching other people play it. I do know that it's a life sim. I love the art style. It reminds me a lot of the Cult of the Lamb art style. I do know that this game is also synced with the real-time clock, and that was actually the deterrent for me in picking up this game more, if I ever did pick it up, because I think when it came out, I was still very much playing Animal Crossing consistently, and I was doing a lot of time traveling. And I think if you did that and then you logged into Cozy Grove, you would mess up your game. I think this is one that if I were to try to play it now, I would get it on Steam, so I could just play it on my Steam Deck instead. That way I didn't have to worry about the time traveling stuff. Then we have Splatoon 3, which I'm actually shocked I have as digital and not physical, because I typically do try to get my Nintendo titles physical. I don't know. There's actually a lot that I didn't for some reason. Splatoon is Nintendo's version of a shooting game, a third-person shooter, but you're not shooting people, kind of. You're shooting them with ink, and you're trying to cover this entire battle arena in your color of ink, while the other team is also trying to do the same thing. I know this one has a lot of other different play styles as well. My issue with this game is that I'm not good at it, so that deters me from playing it more. I love the concept, I love the art style, I'm just really bad. Next up, we have Potion Permit. This is an open-ended life sim RPG game. You are a chemist and you are putting together potions to help cure all of the ailments of the residents in your town. And I say you because I haven't played it. I'm gonna scream about all the games that I haven't played. Up next, we have Ooblets. And this one has been raved about. I have heard so many good things. I actually recommended this to a friend recently. I've heard so many good things. Now, Kato, how can you recommend things that you haven't even played yourself? I don't know. I just trust my friends here on YouTube that they know a good game. Ooblets is like farming, creature collecting, there's dance battles. There is so much going on in this game, and I am going to play this one day. I'm going to skip over this Nintendo 64. This is just the online Nintendo 64 games that you have from having their online service. And we're going to go to Cat Cafe Manager. And as the name suggests, you are running a cat cafe. This one looks absolutely adorable. I love that you get to design your own cat cafe, play with all of the cute little cats. Haven't played it. Then we have Nintendo Switch Sports, and I have played this one. I've actually played quite a bit of it. Mostly the bowling. And this is like the successor to Wii Sports, and I think it didn't really live up to the Wii Sports hype, mostly because the Joy-Cons just aren't as good as the Wiimotes were for motion control. I don't know. The bowling is pretty fun. I could see this being like a fun family game, or if you're having a party and y'all all want to play Nintendo Switch Sports. It's a fun time. Was it worth the money that I spent on it? Probably not. I'm very excited about this next game because this is one, not only have I played it, I beat it. I think I actually did a full playthrough of this game on my channel at some point. This is Lumberjack, and you are playing as this cute bear, and a bunch of people have taken over the forest and put all of their gross stuff in it. So you are going around and destroying all that stuff and trying to restore the forest to its former glory. This game was so cute, so many different puzzles. I had a lot of fun playing it. It was definitely really short. So if you're someone who likes longer games, this is not for you. But if you can get this on sale or for a decent price, I really enjoyed my time with it. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is one that I have physical, so I am going to skip over it, but I do recommend it if you haven't played it yet. Bee Simulator. I unfortunately have played this game, and this game, you are a bee flying around. I don't even remember what you were doing, but this game made me so sick. I remember being very intrigued and excited about this game because the visuals are stunning when you're watching the trailers, but actually playing it, not good. I don't recommend. And I am normally so open-minded about games. I just can't recommend this one. Bugsnax is a game that I have wanted ever since I saw the first trailer of it, so tell me why I haven't played it yet. It is an island adventure game where you're catching these weird living fruits, snacks, food, and feeding them to other creatures. I don't really understand the concept of it. It just seems so weird. I think there are even like adult themes in this game. Very bizarre from what I've seen, which makes me want to play it even more. Yooka-Laylee is another game that I can't remember if I've played it or if I've just watched a lot of other people play it. And I also can't remember if it was inspired by Banjo-Kazooie or actually made by the same people who made Banjo-Kazooie. But I know there's some kind of correlation there. I just don't remember what it is. It is a 3D platforming game. I think it's definitely gotten some mixed reviews, but I think the newer version of Yooka-Laylee actually got very positive reviews. Literally, why do I own The Escapist 2 on my Switch? Can someone tell me? Must have been on a really good sale. I don't know. It sounds good. You're trying to escape from prison. It's cute pixel art style. I like that. I'm sure it's a lot of fun. But why do I own it? Tetris 99. I don't feel like I have to say anything about this. It's Tetris. Tetris is Tetris is Tetris, in my opinion. New Pokemon Snap. I have played this one. I haven't played as much as I would have liked to. This one, I know that I purchased just for the sheer nostalgia of the original Pokemon Snap, which I can't tell you how many times I rented from Blockbuster when I was a kid. I don't know why we didn't just buy the game, because I'm pretty sure me and my brother rented that game so many times that we could have owned it multiple times after the amount of money that we spent renting it. But this is an on-rails, like a first-person photography game where you are on a cart and you're going around these worlds trying to snap pictures of Pokemon. I've always loved the premise of this game because, as I said earlier, I loved Pokemon growing up, and this was just another way to interact with Pokemon and see them in a different way, and I just really love that. Untitled Goose Game. This is a great game where you play as a goose and you are solving puzzles to basically cause chaos and wreak havoc for all of the people in the world. Now, I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I'm just not smart enough, but some of these puzzles did get very hard, and I never beat this game because I rage quit, because I couldn't figure out what to do at one point. And I might have been really close to the end or barely into the game. I'm not even really sure. I just know I couldn't figure it out and I got really frustrated. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Why do I own this? Literally, why do I own this? I played Monkey Ball growing up and I loved it. It's a great game. You're a monkey in a ball and there are all these puzzle levels that you're trying to complete. You're rolling down, trying to stay on the platforms. But why did I buy this? Why do I have this? I've never played it on my Switch. I can't tell you how it runs on the Switch. The Last Campfire, I'm pretty sure I got it because it looked cute. It does sound like it has a really cute story. You are a lost ember, trapped in a puzzling place, searching for meaning and a way home. I do want to just say, I am more embarrassed than I thought I would be, and just seeing the scroll bar on the side, not even being halfway down, what have I done? Splatoon 2 is exactly like Splatoon 3, it's just the previous version of it. I do think I played more of Splatoon 2 than I did of Splatoon 3, and I think it was mostly because there were just less games for the Switch at the time, and I didn't have Animal Crossing to hyperfixate on. Now, 2 Point Hospital is such a fun game. This is a management game where you are trying to build up your hospital, gain revenue, keep your patients alive. There's so much going on in this game. It's kind of like if Roller Coaster Tycoon was a hospital. That's the vibe. I have played this one and I highly recommend any of the 2 Point games. You can kind of just pick and choose based on what you would prefer to manage. Snipper Clips is such a fun game. This was actually one of the first games I got for the Switch. I think it came out shortly after the Switch's initial release. This is a co-op puzzle game where you are having to cut out different parts of your character to try to solve puzzles. And I actually forced my husband to play this with me because I really wanted to play it and it was so good, even though we did get mad at each other when we did things wrong. Super Meat Boy is one that I didn't expect to enjoy as much as I did. It is like a very hardcore, chaotic platformer. Like you die just over and over and over. You're having to make the perfect jump every single time. It's a very different platforming experience than I'd ever played before. And it's a lot of fun, but it can also get very frustrating if you can't beat the level. Tetris Effect Connected is another Tetris game. Now earlier, Tetris 99 I think is more of a battle against other people, whereas Tetris Effect Connected I think is more just different versions of Tetris. But again, it's Tetris. It's all the same concept, shapes floating down, and you're trying to clear out the rows. Pokemon Unite was my first MOBA. Never heard of a MOBA before. It is a multiplayer online battle arena game. This one is free to play. I think it's still playable and around. It wasn't my thing. I couldn't really even explain to you how a MOBA works because I never really understood what I was doing, what I was supposed to be doing. So this wasn't for me, but it was free, so I didn't feel like I lost anything giving it a try. Then I have Sushi Striker. This is just a demo, so I'm gonna skip over it. Snake Pass. This is one that I downloaded really early when the Switch first came out, and it was a platformer game where you're slithering around as a snake. I played some of it, but the controls were weird and like controlling the snake was bizarre. I think we're kind of down into the games that I bought a little more early on. I didn't really love what I played of this one, if I'm being honest with you. Once again, we are at a game where I'm questioning my decision making because what on earth is Ticket to the Man? Okay, I'm just gonna have to read directly from the Steam page here, the description of this game, and you tell me what about this convinced me to buy it. Hard hat tester Ray has a bizarre accident and wakes up with a giant pink spaghetti arm sticking out of his brain. With his awesome new powers, he can read minds and change the world with stickers, but he's on the run for a crime he didn't commit. Can you help Ray out of this sticky situation? Okay. Stardew Valley. Of course I have Stardew Valley. Me, the queen of Stardew Valley? No, I have Stardew Valley on every platform. Even though I haven't played much of Stardew Valley. And if you know me, you know why, because the times that I've tried to play Stardew Valley have been while I was streaming and People are very passionate about Stardew Valley and how I do not play it correctly. So one of these days, I am committed to playing Stardew Valley on my own, not streaming, and I know that I'm going to love it. I know that I am. I'm going to love it. Then we have the Lego Harry Potter collection. This is just like any of the other Lego games. It's just Harry Potter themed. I think this is all of the games. Like it's the full collection. And I actually don't know if I've put too much time into this game on my Switch, but I know that I used to play these games on my 3DS and they're great. They're cute, like little puzzly games, narrative, and going through the story of Harry Potter or whatever other game you decide to go through. I think all of the Lego games are absolutely amazing, and I'm a Harry Potter fan, so this one is super cute. Kataria Fables is an action-adventure RPG style of game, and I remember being very excited about this one because you play as a cat and it's very cute. I did play some of this and I enjoyed my time with it, but it didn't really stick for me. I think you can get it super cheap on the eShop or on Steam, so I recommend checking it out if you can find it for a good price. Pine is an open world adventure game that I purchased because it looked pretty and it was on sale. Now I do worry anytime a game says open world on Switch, unless it's a Zelda game, I'm just not confident in its ability to run very well. I can't say that I know for sure because I haven't played it on the Switch, but I would say be cautious with anything that seems to be expansive. I would be hesitant. Spiritfarer is one of those games that I'm embarrassed that I haven't played it yet because I have only heard good things about this game, and I do know that it's kind of a management style game, but you're trying to help people cross into the afterlife. So I do also know that it is a very emotional game. I don't know if it's one that I would ever stream, but it is definitely one that I want to eventually play through one day. Pokemon Quest was another free-to-play game, and I downloaded it because it looked cute and it was Pokemon and it was free. I think I might have logged in like one time, and I'm not even really sure what you do. I think it's a puzzly game. Honestly, no idea. Moonlighter has to be one of the most slept on games that I've ever played. This one I've actually played quite a bit. This is a game that I played before YouTube, before I started creating content, and I absolutely loved this game. You are a shopkeeper, and it's a very interesting take on shopkeeping. You also have to go into dungeons to get materials. If I remember correctly, you set the prices, but you don't know how much something is worth. So it's kind of a gamble whether they're going to buy it or not, whether you're going to set it at the right price. Very good game, highly recommend. This is one that I never beat, but I would love to jump back into it and play it again. Super Mario Odyssey is a game that I actually have digitally and physically. Amazing game, 3D Mario, definitely recommend it. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee is either my favorite Pokemon game on the Switch or my second favorite. This one and Arceus are the two that I would play the most. This one holds the most nostalgia for me because it's a remake of the originals. I actually loved the creature collecting in this one. I loved the changes. I loved the simplicity of this one. And I thought the graphics were super cute. I felt like they hit it out of the park. There was enough about it that felt like the original, but then I also did feel like they took time to make quality of life improvements. And I don't know, I just had a blast playing this one. Then we have Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. And this is one that I heard so many good things about it. And then I bought it and I tried it one time, but it wasn't quite what I thought it was gonna be. So I put it down and didn't touch it again. But maybe at the right time, I would be more interested in playing this. You're literally like a lawyer trying to save your clients in this. I don't know if I even saved a single person. Then we have Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. I played quite a bit of this, Very story driven. This is an RPG, like a monster collecting game. I enjoyed what I played of it, but I do remember it struggling on the Switch. Lego Worlds is the next game that I have, and you know how I said earlier I would recommend any of the Lego games? This one, I think I tried to play it one time and I was just absolutely confused because it wasn't like the other Lego games that I had played before. I think this is more about like creating with the Legos than it is playing through a story, and that just wasn't really my vibe. Little Dragon's Cafe is a cute game about managing a cafe and raising a dragon, just like the name suggests. This is another one that I really wish I had spent more time in because I think it's so cute and I love that it is centered around dragons. The next two I think I got as a bundle on sale at some point: Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Ori and the Blind Forest. These are both platform adventure games. They both have had rave reviews. They are absolutely beautiful, and I have played neither of them. But one day I'm gonna take the time, I'm gonna play every single one of these games. Maybe that's my goal for 2025. This is the Octopath Traveler demo. I'm gonna go ahead and skip over that. And then we have Paw Patrol on a Roll. I think I downloaded this for my son at some point. This is another game that was developed by Outright Games. I haven't personally played any of the Paw Patrol games, but my son has played all of them, I think, and they are great. Hob is an action adventure game that must have been on sale at some point. It does look very pretty. Maybe I should start looking up how long each of these games takes to complete and start with the shortest one and work my way up and start getting through some of these games. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, this is the first one. We talked about the Sparks of Hope earlier. Again, this is a turn-based RPG with Mario and the Rabbids. I have also played this one and I loved it. Turn-based strategy is definitely not something I typically gravitate towards, but I think because it's Mario and Rabbids, it's just a little bit more approachable and it's not as intimidating. Golf Story is an adventure RPG based around golf. And I can't remember, I think you were like running the golf course. I know you play golf during it, and it doesn't sound like that would be something I was into, but I actually did really enjoy the time that I spent playing this. And then I remember it was actually very narrative driven. There was a lot of dialogue and a lot of really good dialogue. But then once I stopped playing and I forgot what happened, I could never get back into it. So if I were to come back to this one, I would have to start a new save because I would have no idea what was going on. Coloro is another puzzle platformer. This follows a girl named Cora, and that is really all I know about it. There must have been some kind of puzzle platformer sale one day, and I just went through and grabbed them all. Oh, Garden Story is such a cute and wholesome little action RPG where you play as a grape. I did play some of this, but I don't remember getting very far. But the graphics of this one, I absolutely adore it. Lego City Undercover, I think, is another game that I downloaded for my son on my Switch. And from what I remember, I do think that he liked it, but I think it was a little more challenging than other games that he's played on the Switch. I definitely think some of the other Lego games are probably better than this one. Layton's Mystery Journey. This is a game that I got because I grew up playing Professor Layton games on my DS and 3DS. I've played so many of them. They are puzzle games, and there has never been a bad Professor Layton game in my opinion. But I never played this one. I just haven't. Now, Dragon Quest Builders 2, talk about a game that does not get enough recognition. This is a block building RPG. So think of the building as kind of like a Minecraft experience. But for me, I don't really like the look of Minecraft, but this one I absolutely loved. There is a full storyline with this game. I did beat this one. My only complaint is that things get a little bit repetitive towards the end, but wow. If you are looking for a game to sink so many hours into, this is the one. Such a good game, and this is one that I'm constantly like When is Dragon Quest Builders 3 coming out? I need the next game. I think it would be an absolute hit. Death's Door is one game that I tried to play. I'm pretty sure it's a roguelike game. And man, I could not be worse at a game than I was Death's Door. I could not even beat the tutorial boss of this game. So if you're good at games, or if you're better at games than me, this is a game for you. This game gets rave reviews, so I think it's a me problem. I love the art style and I loved the idea of it, but I just couldn't beat it. Haven Park is another game that I bought because it was cute and on sale, and I think that you're just trying to manage the upkeep of this park, and you're a cute little bird. And that's really all I know about it. Gymnos, I think this is the first game that actually sponsored me. This is an Australian-based rhythm game. I remember it being fun for what it was. I think it's a pretty short rhythm game, a couple hours maybe. And I do remember there being also some design elements, like you could kind of design the house that you were in. So I thought that was a cute touch too. This next thing was like a test of the game ARMS. I'm gonna move on from that. And then we have Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I love a Donkey Kong game. Side-scrolling platformer, and this one is amazing, although very difficult in my opinion. And I grew up playing Donkey Kong. Look, I have spent many an hour on that minecart level, okay? I know I can beat a side-scrolling platformer, but this one is very difficult. This next game is Daddish, and apparently this is about a father radish searching for his missing radish children. Never played it. Cooking Simulator. This one I think actually was really popular for a long time. I think a lot of these simulator games gain a lot of popularity. I don't play most of them because they are first person and I struggle with that. And I don't think I ever played this one on my Switch. I might have played it on Steam, but it's exactly what it says it is. You are in a cooking simulation, so you are cooking stuff. Cave Story is a side-scrolling, like 8-bit style game. I don't know why I have this. That's not my typical game. Maybe someone recommended it to me or something. I'm not really sure. Cattails is literally a game about becoming a cat. So of course I own it. And I have a very vivid memory of this being like 50 cents or something. Cars 3, another game I downloaded on my Switch for my son. And this is a racing game, of course. Cars, the movie themed. My son really enjoys this one, but I think he enjoys Mario Kart a lot more. A Short Hike is a cozy game about trying to reach the peak of a mountain, and you're playing as a cute little bird. I almost said penguin, but I think that's a bird. It's called A Short Hike, so I assume that it's also a short game. So I have no excuse as to why I haven't played this yet. ARMS is a game that came out pretty early on in the Switch's life cycle. It was a new Nintendo IP, and I'm shocked that it didn't gain more traction than it did because it's actually a really decent fighting game. And even though I'm not into fighting games, I enjoyed this one a lot. I wouldn't be shocked if they gave this another chance and they tried an ARMS 2 on the next system. Dot Cat is literally another game about being a cat. I'm pretty sure this one is also a platformer. I bought it because cat. Ultra Food Mess is actually a competitive party game where you're battling with food, but the thing about this one is I'm pretty sure it's only local multiplayer and not online multiplayer, and that's a problem. I don't like it when they do that. If it has multiplayer, I want to play with people online. Pokemon Legends Arceus, I've mentioned this one several times throughout this video already. This is an amazing Pokemon game. They finally changed up the formula, they did something different, and I respect them for it. If you're gonna get any Pokemon game on the Switch, I would either recommend this one or Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee. It would depend on what you were looking for in a Pokemon game. I loved the story of this one, the catching mechanic, the graphics. I think there's still a lot that they could improve on, but I think this was their biggest step in the right direction. And then I don't know what happened after that. Triangle Strategy is a tactical RPG game that I have no idea why I own this. I think I may have lost a bet or something. I'm pretty sure I picked this up when I was on the Nintendo Drive, which is a Nintendo podcast that I used to co-host. And I think there was some reason I bought this when I was doing that. I tried playing it. I did give this one a try, and man, the first part of it was so rough to get through. This is not the game for me. Yoshi's Crafted World, this is a game that I do have physical, highly recommend it, super cute game. Then I have another demo, and then we have a game called Hope's Farm, and this is obviously a farm sim. I couldn't remember what this was, so I just looked up pictures of it, and it kind of looks like a mobile game. I don't know. Is this a mobile game? I'm not really sure. It has me intrigued. Like, I kind of want to try this one. Guacamelee is a Metroidvania, like, action style game. This one got a lot of attention for a long time, and a lot of people recommended it, and that's why I bought it. I definitely waited for it to go on sale, though, and then I never played it. This has to be some kind of sickness at this point, right? Slime Rancher is a first-person life sim adventure game. Once again, this is one that I've heard a lot about, and I haven't tried it. I'm a little nervous because it is first person, but I do want to give it a try. I think you're going around collecting these slimes, and then you use them on your like farm or ranch to do certain things. I could be totally wrong in that, but it looks super cute. I love the graphics. Next up is Figment, and this is a musical action adventure style game, and another one that I haven't played. Had to have been on sale. Honestly and truly, no idea what this one's about. Finally, another one that I have actually played. This is Overcooked 2, and I have played a ton of Overcooked. This is a chaotic cooking management simulation style game. Co-op game. I would not recommend playing this by yourself. And this is one of those games that will ruin friendships, okay? You will be yelling at your friends because of this game. Monster Harvest is an interesting one because this is a creature collecting slash farming sim. And it's one of those games that it has very different art on the cover of it compared to what is actually in game. But the premise of it I was very intrigued by, but then I've heard a lot of negative reviews. I need to give it a try for myself because I do really like the idea of it. And I do actually like the art style of the in-game stuff as well, but I don't know why the cover art doesn't match it. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is an action game that I literally bought because that is the most ridiculous title for a game that I've ever heard. And it was on sale. And it looks really cute. Then I have the Big Brain Academy demo, so I'm gonna skip through that. This next one is called Roar, and this is a game that I downloaded for my son. You are literally a dinosaur and you go around destroying the town. It was so cheap on the eShop when I bought it, and it is not very good. I don't think I could even recommend this one. It's an interesting experience, I'll say that. We have another Pokemon game. This is Pokemon Shining Pearl. I definitely put some hours into this one, but like I've said countless times, not one of the ones I would recommend on Switch, but not bad. And then the last thing on here is just the Sega Genesis Nintendo Switch Online thing, which we're gonna skip over. And that means we have made it through my entire digital Switch collection. I honestly feel like I played less than I thought I had because man, there are so many games that I haven't played. So if you stuck around this long, thank you so much. I would love to know which games you want to see me play down in the comments below. Are there any that you're interested in picking up now? What does your digital Switch collection look like? I hope y'all enjoyed this very long video about all of my digital Switch games. If you did, I'd appreciate if you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!